used to girls that can make it high fashion. Fucking with a 10, hey, man. I should have done my money cause I like late. Just sitting tight, like, I don't wanna fight. No promises tonight,
Hey girlies, I'm so excited to see you guys. Welcome back to the channel, my hearts. So today we're back at it again with another video. Okay, 2 in a row. Give your girl her credit. Okay, give your girl her credit. Okay, I don't know who I am, but y'all, I might just be her for 2 in a row. Period.
Clock that T.
Today, we're going to have the second installment in my series, Dragging Your Favorite Teen Movie. In the last video, I put a link in the description box to open up the floor for you all to pick the movies that you would like to see me cover. 13 was the only movie at the time suggested on the list, and so here we are covering it. Thank you to whichever one of my boos suggested it. This video is dedicated to you, Hardy, period. 13 can only be described as a wild ride, and so I don't really want to say too much in the intro because I'm going to have a lot to say later, okay? So like last time, your girl sat down, she watched the movie, and took notes of all the things that annoyed the fuck out of moi. And now here I am sharing those notes with you all. Please keep in mind that this is not a reaction or a review. It is simply a rant. Okay. First, I'm going to give an overview of the movie. Then we'll quickly get into the rant part of the video where we will drag 13 for a feel. Okay. But before we start dragging, I must give my disclaimer. Please keep in mind that these are my thoughts and opinions. If you do not like them, tell your mother, not me. Period. 13 is a 2003 psychological drama film directed by Catherine Hardrick, and the screenplay was actually written over 6 days by Hardrick and then 14-year-old Nikki Reed. This film is loosely based on Nikki Reed's life from the ages of 12 to 13. Upon the film's debut at the Sundance Film Festival in January 2003, Hardrick won the Sundance Directing Award in Drama for the film. Fox Searchlight Pictures then brought 13 for distribution, giving the film a limited release in the United States beginning on August 20th, 2003. The release would expand in September 2003, and the film went on to gross a total of 4.6 million at the US box office. 13 is about a 13-year-old Tracy Freeland who begins the 7th grade as a smart, mild-mannered honor student at a middle school in Los Angeles. Her divorced mother, Melanie, is a recovering alcoholic who struggles to support Tracy and her older brother, Mason, by working as a hairdresser. Melanie is too busy and occupied with her fellow ex-addict boyfriend, Brady, to notice Tracy's increasing depression. On the first day of school, things take a sharp turn when Tracy crosses paths with classmate Evie Zamora, who is considered the most stylish and popular girl in school. After being teased by Evie's clique for her clothes, Tracy is mortified and decides to shed her little girl image. Tracy wears one of her new outfits to school and catches the attention of Evie. Evie invites Tracy to go shopping but gives her a fake phone number to prank her. Nevertheless, Tracy determinedly shows up and meets with Evie and her friend Astrid. Tracy is uncomfortable when the two begin shoplifting and excuses herself to sit outside on a bench. When a distracted woman sits next to Tracy, she steals the woman's wallet, which impresses Evie and Astrid. The three go on a shopping spree with the stolen money, and Tracy and Evie quickly become friends. Evie introduces an intrigued and excited Tracy to her world of sex, drugs, and crime. Tracy's behavior and priorities dramatically shift. She frequently skips class, starts neglecting her schoolwork, and abandons her own circle of friends in favor of Evie and her clique. Evie tells Melanie that Brooke, her adult cousin and guardian, is out of town for 2 weeks, and Melanie agrees to let her stay at home with Tracy. While staying there, Evie discovers that Tracy regularly herself to cope with stress. Although Melanie sees a drastic change in Tracy's personality and worries about the extent of Evie's influence, she can't find a way to intervene. Melanie tries to send Evie home but reluctantly lets her stay after Evie claims Brooke's boyfriend is physically and abusive. As Tracy and Evie become closer, Tracy grows increasingly hostile towards Melanie. Evie and Tracy begin to engage in more destructive activities, each egging each other on. Melanie tries to break the girls' friendship by sending Tracy to live with her father, but he refuses, claiming to be too busy. Eventually, Evie asks Melanie to adopt her formally, but Melanie ends up refusing. Tracy meekly supports her mother's decision. Angry and hurt, a tearful Evie storms off. Later, Evie makes fun of Tracy and spreads rumors about her at school. Tracy begins to slowly realize the negative effects of her lifestyle when she's told that she will have to repeat the seventh grade. Later, Melanie, Evie, and Brooke sit quietly in the living room waiting for Tracy. Brooke, having been convinced by Evie that it was Tracy who was the bad influence, confronts Tracy about her drug use and stealing. Outraged, Tracy insists that Evie is the instigator, but the skeptical Brooke refuses to listen and announces that she is moving Evie to Ojai in order to keep her away from Tracy. When Melanie defends Tracy's innocence, Brooke pulls Tracy's sleeves up to show her self harm scars. Melanie orders Brooke and Evie out of the house and tries to comfort Tracy. Tracy breaks down and tearfully fights against Melanie's embrace. Melanie persists and assures Tracy that she loves her and will not let her go, and the two fall asleep together on Tracy's bed. The last scene shows a drama sequence of Tracy spinning alone and screaming on a park merry-go-round during the daytime. Now, if that was a lot for you to take in, that's exactly what this movie is. A lot for you to take in. Seriously. Now that I have, just given you not even a brief background, but I told you what the entire movie is about, I'm going to move on to the part that we're all here for. Period. Let's drag it for filth, y'all. So, when the film first opens up, we kind of get a background scene, or not even really a background scene, but a scene that happens in the future where Tracy and Evie are hitting each other while doing drugs. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a hard watch. These two girls are clearly high out their minds off of what I'm assuming what the kids do today, the whippet. I'm assuming that's what they was doing, just under a different name. That's what it looked like to me anyway. But like they're clearly like really messed up off drugs and are just sitting there punching each other in the face. Like, don't do drugs, kids. Please. Please don't do drugs. In this film though, something that, caught my attention and it made me smile a little bit. We have a young Vanessa Hudgens in this film. She plays Tracy's friend from before, Noelle, and she looks really cute. She looks really adorable. I thought I'd just mention that. So there's a scene, right, where Melanie, Tracy's mother, is doing some hair and the lady left her a $2 tip. And I just thought to myself, I would rather you leave me nothing than a $2 tip. But maybe that's just the type of person I am. With the comment from Evie and her friends about Tracy dressing like a Cabbage Patch, y'all, I genuinely I don't see it. To me, through an adult lens, she just looks like a normally dressed child. Like, and even what Evie and her friends are wearing, yeah, it may be like, I guess, ever so slightly older looking, but to be calling Tracy a Cabbage Patch is a bit insane. Like, I feel like it's a drag when she's wearing the same shit that y'all got on, except for y'all just look this much growner. Like, I don't get it. To me, something I noticed, uh, like throughout the entire movie, really, but I just wrote it down here because it's shown from the start of the movie. Tracy's mom is giving friend and not parent. Like, it's giving she don't really want to parent Tracy or tell her anything. She would just rather be friends and smile and laugh with her child when that's not what you're there for. I mean, at some point, yes, you do grow to, be friends with your kids, but that is normally once your kid becomes an adult. You're not friends with a 14-year-old on a regular basis. I'm not even a 14-year-old, with a 13-year-old on a regular basis. So why are you treating her like she is your peer? She is not. The fuck? So, after, the whole Cabbage Patch thing, Tracy wants to go on this little shopping spree or whatever. So they go on this little shopping spree at some back alley van shit. And I want to say Her mama did all this, and nothing about Tracy's new look was different at all. Like nothing. My sis added eyeliner and a baby tee. Eyeliner and a baby tee. Very basic. Okay, very basic. She didn't do anything. Hey y'all, after somebody gives me a fake number, I would have just let the shit go. Like, y'all ever heard Dennis say that if you are not invited, don't ask to go? No shade, baby. He spit with that one because I'm not going. If I say, you be like, oh, like here, like I'm gonna give you my number. You can call me. We'll meet up. This, that, and the third. I call your number, and that shit say the number you have dialed, baby. I might try one more time before I click and be like, damn. Guess it wasn't meant to be. Would have saw me at school the next day. I'd have been like, your number didn't work, so I didn't show up. I'm not that dedicated. Not that dedicated, boo. Something that like ticked me off about the whole like them stealing from the store scene, Evie and her friend, is how did they not get caught stealing? Like they were loudly giggling whilst stuffing shit in her bag. Like
Shit, guys, I only brought $10. What?
where are the workers? These people, then again, when I used to work at self checkout, I used to let people do anything, y'all. So could I really fault them? But if somebody is loudly and disrespectfully stealing out your store, wouldn't you say something? Like, at least if you're gonna steal, have the common decency to be fucking like, I don't know, quiet. Mm. To me, something that this film focuses on pretty much is wanting to fit in, right? And while I get wanting to fit into whatever crowd that you're chasing after, whether that be the popular crowd, the sports crowd, you want to be in the arts, whatever you want to be in, whatever crowd that you're trying to fit into, I get it. It's a familiar feeling that everybody has, especially at an age as young as Tracy. However, this just feels like even with the stealing shit, the movie feels like she is taking like exceptionally large steps to impress someone that she doesn't even know. Like, as the way that the movie makes it seem, when she meets Evie, this is her first time like meeting Evie, having conversation with her, like anything outside of Tracy just knowing that Evie is popular. I don't understand like why she going so hard to impress someone that she don't even know nothing about. Well, I mentioned earlier that when during this whole scene of of Evie and her friend stealing, Tracy goes outside, she's sits on the bench, she's not feeling comfortable, and then she steals a wallet from a lady. Now, the question is for the girls in the back, okay? How much did they take from that lady? Because these girls bought 6 pairs of shoes, two each, okay? 6 pairs of shoes. Now, in today's day and age, 6 pairs of shoes, one pair of shoes is running you $200. So I need to know where they was that they was able to buy 6 pairs of shoes. It's like, man, was the early 2000s just that great? Like, I'm starting not to remember what life was like before tariffs. Similar times. Tracy immediately dubbing her old friends not even a full day after hanging out with Evie says a lot to me about Tracy as a person. She is where she thinks that the grass is greener, not where the grass is actually green.
Clock. You should have. That's it.
The way that Tracy told her mother that she would kill her if she ruined her day with Evie should have been red flag number one with her mother. So there's a scene where they're like in the car and her mom takes Evie and Tracy to like the strip, I guess, almost like a mall or whatever. And she's like, she wants to stay and like call Evie's mom to make sure that like they're supposed to be there or whatever, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And Tracy makes the comment that if you ruin this day, I will actually kill you. As Tracy's mother, I would have been like, no way that some girl is important enough for you to be talking to me like you lost your mind. You're gonna kill me if I ruin your day with some girl that you just met, little miss. Like, relax. Melanie needed to put her foot down. My mama would have cut shit with Evie immediately once she saw how dependent I was becoming on her. after just meeting her. That's a red flag. Another thing that we see multiple times throughout this movie, these older men hanging around these clearly young teenage girls as they sell and do drugs is very creepy. Like, I think the fact that Evie and Tracy actually look like kids, just dressed a bit, not even more mature, but just dressed like a little older looking, I think it makes it even more sick. Because you have shows like Today's Age where, let's use for Euphoria for example. With Euphoria, you can clearly tell that all of these teenagers are in their 20s, late 20s, early 30s. Like, these are some old ass teenagers, and so when you see them doing the stuff that they're doing, I guess, like, unless you think to yourself like, hey, these kids are actually supposed to be teenagers, it really doesn't have like much of an effect. But to me, because the fact like Evie and Tracy look like children, it's just like, I don't know, like, this is very, it makes me uncomfortable, to say the least. After Tracy stayed out after dark and came back clearly high, that should have been another red flag for Melanie that Evie was not a good friend choice. There are so many times when Melanie could have shut this Evie shit down and didn't. Period. Okay? Mm. The fact that Mel cannot see that Tracy does not really like Brady being in the house definitely makes her a bad parent. Like, why would you put your child into a situation where you know they do not or will not like it? Also, being a recovering addict herself and inviting a recovering addict back into her space cannot be a good move mentally. I thought that they actually said that two addicts really shouldn't be together. Thought that was like a thing, a known thing. Melanie was letting Tracy talk to her any kind of way. Like, when I tell you my mother wouldn't have went for nothing, would have knocked me into next year. I would have blinked, y'all. Blink, it would have been one blink, woke up in 2026. No troll. Like, no troll. There's a scene in which Tracy is getting a tongue piercing. And I want to say that the piercing artist or the tattoo artist guy was absolutely gross. And there's no way that he couldn't tell that they weren't like of age in the slightest bit. It was absolutely disgusting to watch, and it made me extremely uncomfortable. I strongly believe that Mel is partially to blame for the way that Tracy is acting. Although most of it is Evie and like her wanting to prove to Evie that, I guess, like, I don't know, like, she's popular or something. I don't know what she's trying to prove to Evie, honestly. But like, I feel like since Brady is a trigger for Tracy, Mel bringing Brady back into the house, it just adds on to why Tracy is acting the way that she's acting. That's just me. That's what I think personally. Something that I wonder, they never touched on like how big of a liar Evie actually is. And so my question was Evie lying about Brooke's boyfriend beating her? Like, for some reason, when I watched this particular scene, it all seems like an act, like something that's made up as an attempt to get Melanie to sympathize with her. Not like, oh, like these things really happened to me and I'm telling you this because I really need a safe space to stay. But it gives, oh, like, I'm really about to come in here and manipulate you into doing what I want you to do. So I'm just gonna tell you whatever whatever I think you might want to hear in order for you to show me some sympathy, and you'll let me stay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it gives sometimes. But then I don't ever want to like see a victim and claim that they're lying because I'm the type of girl. But it's just, I don't know. Like, Evie gives weird vibes. Like, she'll do anything to get her way. To me, it does not help that Tracy's dad is not in her life and doesn't seem to care much for her. I say that to say, I'm so over daddy issues being portrayed as if the girl always ends up being promiscuous. Like, what about the girls who are opposite and become jaded and untrustworthy of men? Like, I feel like us girls should be represented more. I'm one of them girls who did not have my father in my life. I have daddy issues, yes, but my daddy issues are not like this. Like, it's not like a promiscuous thing where, oh, I'm looking for love in every man that I meet because I didn't get it from my dad and blah 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 blah. No, how about I'm jaded and I don't trust anything that you say, and I don't really want to be in a relationship because, like, I, I know men ain't shit because of how I feel about my father. What about us girls? Like, I know I can't be the only one who feels like that out there. Like, as a girl with daddy issues, like, let me know in the comments down below, right? If you are a girl who did not have your father in your life, I want to know if you took the promiscuous route or the jaded route. And I just want to know, like, there has to be more of us than they be trying to paint out. No way every girl turns to promiscuity. There's just no way. Tracy was also mad fucking ungrateful. Like, her mother went out of her way to give her something that she showed interest in wanting, and she couldn't even say thank you. There was a scene where Tracy picked up an expensive pair of pants and showed them to her mother and was like pretty much asking to get him, but her mom was like, we can't afford these. Later on, her mother makes her the jeans that she asked for, and this bitch has the nerve to say something like, "Oh, this is not how they looked in the store." Bitch, why do it matter? Your mother went out her way to make something that she knew that you would like, and you couldn't even say thank you, you ungrateful bitch. Like, oh God, oh God. So Evie really wanted and needed a mother figure, right? And she was noticing the fact that Tracy had a semi-decent mother, and she wanted to experience that. You could tell, especially in the scene where Melanie comes in and is telling them goodnight, she watches Tracy dodge her mother's kiss and ends up taking the opportunity to get the kiss instead, even going as far as to say I love you. Like, that should tell you, girl, that this baby was looking for a mommy. This baby was looking for somebody to love her. Like, seriously, she was looking for anybody to show her any kind of attention. Dead ass. To me, Melanie was letting a lot of shit slide. Like, Tracy saying not to come in her room as if she pays the bills or buys anything. Crazy. Can I ask? So there's a scene, right, where after Mel, well, same scene. After Mel kisses them, good night, tells them good night, Evie immediately gets up and sneaks out and makes hella noise. Now, my question is, Mel had just closed the door. How the fuck did she not hear Evie getting out that room? Being that Tracy was already self-harming and dealing with an absent father, dealing with her mother being a recovering addict, it makes sense why she would want to follow Evie. Evie has a life that, in a child's eyes, would be fun. She has no parents that can disappoint her. She dresses how she wants, does what she wants. She's popular. She can have whatever guy she wants, be friends with whoever she wants. She has nobody to answer to for her actions at the end of it all, right? But I think that what Tracy doesn't realize is that having people is better than having none at all. Evie, at the end of the day, is a lost soul who nobody really, really cares about. Like, yes, she might have Brooke, and yes, she might be popular, and yeah, all these things. She may have friends, but that doesn't mean like these people really care about her. Like, even Brooke. Brooke essentially fucking like abandoned Evie while she went to get plastic surgery. Like, let's really like, but you love me? That's not something you do to somebody that you love. Period. So the director's choice of having Evie wear the jeans that Melanie made for Tracy and even sitting her in her place at the table was a good background detail to me. It's like you could tell she's trying to almost like fill a role or be the good daughter that Tracy's not being. Again, back to there being some mommy issues there. Something that I'm also like a little questioning. So when they went to meet Brooke, Evie's aunt, right? She allows them each to drink full beer, right? Now, I want to know what the fuck kind of an adult allows children to drink a full beer. To me, I don't know about you girls, but the most I was allowed to have as a teenager was a wine cooler or like a sip of something that my mom was drinking. But that was in the house under my mom's supervision. To give kids alcohol, leave and just trust that they will be okay is horrible parent or guardian behavior. Like, actually, what if they got sick? What if they didn't listen to you and drank more than one and somehow got alcohol poisoning? Like, people don't be thinking, and that's what be irritating the fuck out of me. Tracy looking over at Evie to see what she was doing while they were hanging out with the boys is clear proof to me that she was emulating Evie, doing what she considered to be cool. This is such a dependent relationship that the shit is actually very scary. Ooh, So something that is never mentioned, but I would like to ask, just to open up, ask, how did Evie get the scar on her back? Like, I don't think anybody ever says anything about it. Like, it's not like something that she even mentions. But I'm curious. There was a scene with the next door neighbor where he allowed these two girls to be in his house, right? Luke was a creep for even allowing two 13-year-olds into his house unsupervised. That's some creepy shit, right? But also, as a grown man, being overpowered by two 13-year-old girls who cannot weigh more than 175 pounds combined is fucking crazy. And if the police show up and he was to say, oh, they overpowered me, oh, they forced me, this, that, and the third, my nigga, you was a grown man. And it irritates me that there are so many grown men in this movie that they are allowing to mess with these girls. Disgusting. Even outside of it just being a movie, these actors look way, way, way too old to be kissing like these girls in real life. These are real life teenagers playing this role, kissing men who look to be in their 30s. It's disgusting. And it shouldn't be allowed. Even in this whole scene made me really uncomfortable because Tracy did not even seem like she wanted to be involved, but because Evie was forcing it, she's like, damn, I guess I gotta do this too. Like, damn, peer pressure is a bitch. Oh child, let's move on because it's about to piss me off. As Mason, the friend that complimented my 13-year-old sister would no longer be my friend. And that's on God. Because Mason, I'm not sure how much older he is than her, but I'm assuming it's like some years, which means his friends are some years older than his 13-year-old sister. Disgusting. Truly. Nasty. Something about Evie that I feel like Tracy started noticing too late. Evie was a horrible, jealous friend, like a horribly jealous friend, right? Her and Javi clearly hooked up, and that is messed up considering that Tracy said that she liked him and was excited about them hooking up. To then turn around and go hook up with your friend's man is disgusting. And then to lie to her face, nasty. Nasty work, bitch. Nasty. I feel like Mason should have said something way sooner before like catching Tracy out. I mean, it was clear he knew what she was into far before like that whole scene. So I just don't understand why he wouldn't say something. Like he knew that she was doing drugs. Why wouldn't you say something? If my brother knew that I was doing serious drugs, he would have snitched. He would have sung. He would have sung like a fucking canary. And vice versa. Why? Because we care about each other as siblings. I'm not gonna let you be out here crashing out doing dumb shit and not say nothing to moms. I'm telling mom, dead ass. I told for less. Seriously. Why when people get upset do they destroy their own home? Like you get mad and want to fuck up your living room or throw shit around your kitchen or like fuck up your bedroom. Like, baby girl, you are the one who paid for that shit at the end of the day and you are the one that's got to clean it up. Like, even if the crash shot is valid, we need to think about the future. Okay? Think about the future. I would never come in here in this area, in my sacred area, and start throwing shit around out of anger. Okay? Because, bitch, who is cleaning that up after? Not me. The fuck? Someone in the movie that I feel bad for is Brady because while he is a recovering addict, and yes, this is not his first time that he has done the rehab thing, he seems like he's really trying to be better. And honestly, I would have left this fucking house too. Like, this is an environment where honestly one would relapse, and I'm surprised that Melanie hasn't. No shade. All tea. To me, there's a scene where Evie and Tracy are talking in like their own little language to each other. And to me, that shows how attached the two really are. Because that's something that's common in twins. Like twins are so close that sometimes they have their own little language that they speak to each other. And I think this shows the dependency that they have on each other. Like it's sprinkled throughout the movie very nicely. Melanie should have been sent Evie home. And it really should have never made it to like the point where it made it to before she decided that Evie needed to fucking go. You know, like I feel like it took her too long to come to the conclusion that Evie's got to fucking go. Why? First of all, Evie would have had at this house here, okay, in Lisa's house. That's my mama's name, Lisa. In Lisa's house, Evie would have had 2 weeks max before she had to get the fuck back on whatever she was dealing with. Especially if she was causing me to act out my body, my mama wouldn't have been having it at all. Evie would have had to go. She would have like called somebody, did something, but Evie would have had to go. She couldn't stay here. Oh, y'all, there's a scene that I want to discuss in which Tracy walked down on her mama, like walked down, it was in her mama's face. I want you to know that because of this here, and y'all know what I'm talking about, let's not act like we don't know. I would have never been able to walk down on my mama the way Tracy did. Remember when I was telling you she would knock me into 2026? If I walk down on her, y'all, I might blink and wake up in 2027. 2 years, she might knock off my life. I hope the fuck I would. That is so disrespectful.
So disrespectful. That shit got me so hot.
Again, to discuss Tracy's father, because you know there's a scene later on where Mel calls and is essentially begging him for help, like because their daughter is tripping the fuck out. Tracy's father was absolutely horrible. Okay, Melanie was begging this man for help, and he couldn't. And he could not even help to save his child from herself. Like, fuck the job. This is your child. And then to get in Tracy's face and act like he was going to call out from his work when you could clearly tell he wasn't is crazy. Don't fucking manipulate me, bitch. Question. How much drugs do you have to do in order to allow someone to punch you and slap you in the face? Like, what is fun or entertaining about that shit?
This. Be nice.
I'm finding it.
It take you that long to
It
find
does.
it?
Earlier, I brought up the fact that Brooke got plastic surgery and just kind of abandoned Evie. Abandoning a child that you're caring for with plastic surgery is crazy work. And although Evie caused a lot of negative things to happen in Tracy's life, she's still just a little girl at the end of the day. The fact that Melanie went in, saw her environment with Brooke, and just threw her back into that shit is crazy. Also, I'm not saying that she like had to adopt her, but I just think the least she could have done after seeing, Evie's living environment was fucking call CPS. Like, I'm never throwing a child. And it could be that, because I work with kids, I have a soft spot for them. But it's like, I'm never throwing a child back into a situation that doesn't even look, it don't even look like somewhere where a child belongs. But you're just gonna throw her back there? That shit is really fucked up. It genuinely is. No matter what Evie did. No shade. That's a child at the end of the day.
No shade.
The fact that Tracy did not know that she could get left back for doing bad in school is some real kid shit. Because she thinks consequences don't have actions. And to me, that's another sign that Tracy is mad fucking young. Like, mad young. If it does not even like click in your head that if I don't do schoolwork, if I don't show up to school, if I'm getting bad grades consistently, I'm not going to be able to graduate. The fact that that doesn't click just shows how young-minded she is. The fake I love you that Evie gives Tracy in the hallway after lying to her is so fucking diabolical. Bitch, you just told your auntie that everything that you ever your whole drug stash belongs to me, and you in the hallway talking about something you love me. Yeah, okay, bitch. If I was Tracy, the two-piece that Evie would have received in that living room, it would have taken the military to get me off Evie. No shade. To say that Tracy was the bad influence, Brooke would have to be insane. And the fact that she allowed Evie to manipulate her like that is also crazy. Knowing that her niece is a manipulator. But then again, I guess it makes sense because she's a manipulator too. This is the same bitch who dropped her niece off and abandoned her so she could get plastic surgery. So I guess, look at the criteria of people we're talking about.
Clock.
That's tea.
Showing Mel that Tracy cuts like that was some revelation that suddenly makes her a bad person is also crazy. If anything, if someone were to show me that my child was cutting, I would not take that and be like, oh, well, she must be a bad influence. My first thought would have been, well, why is she doing this? Something must be wrong. That has nothing to do with you being a bad person. It's just something is wrong, boo. Like, somebody needs to talk to you. Dead serious. There was a really like nice little scene in the bedroom where Tracy's mom is kissing the cuts on her arm. It's a heartbreaking moment, but it's like bittersweet at the same time, because it's like saying, I see you, I love you, and you don't have to do this. Like, seriously, we could find another way around it, honestly. The ending of the movie with Tracy spinning in the merry-go-round is really a good ending to me. Like, I know that some films are all about how you interpret them. The merry-go-round to me represents life. No matter what happens or how you feel, it's going to keep going until it all comes to stop. As far as the outro goes, I don't even really know where to start with it because there are so many topics that are brought to light in this movie. It honestly is like sometimes hard for my brain to pick just one. So I think it makes the most sense to start by talking about Melanie and her parenting. A lot of this film could have been avoided if she had decided to be a parent and not a friend. If you see that your child is changing as much as Tracy clearly was, one would assume that you would do all that you could to make it right. Melanie did nothing. Then, while I understand that Evie is not Mel's responsibility, instead of abandoning a child that clearly needs and is begging for help, why not just get her the help that she needs? I understand the friendship between Evie and Tracy very well. In a way, when the two girls look at each other, they see who they want or aspire to be. Tracy wants popularity and to be accepted amongst her peers, while Evie wants the love, acceptance, and validation not from her peers, but from a maternal or parental figure. It all boils down to the two of them doing what they can to get the attention that they crave. Although Evie was a horrible influence, she is not to blame for the path that Tracy took. Yes, she did show her the way, but she did not force her or, make her continue on her destructive path. When you think about the fact that at the end, Evie was just a child adapting to her environment, to me, it takes the blame out of the situation and just makes it an unfortunate story where two lost souls meet and cause destruction. As far as the drug use, this film has a way of not glorifying it, but making it hard to watch, which I enjoy. Um, I like that because it should be that way. And most of these teen shows where drug use is highlighted, it is made to seem fun. Nothing about being so high that you sit around punching each other in the face is fun or entertaining. Honestly, like, this is the harsh realities of what drugs do to you. And I like that they showed this in the movie. Not that this is some fun shit that we sitting around doing kikiing about. Like, no, this is what two idiots look like doing drugs, period. My last little thought on this film before I wrap up isn't even really a thought, more so of a question to you guys. In your opinion, was Evie being truthful when she was talking about the abuse that she went through both physically and sexually? Could it have been just something made up as a way to manipulate Mel into feeling bad for her? Or could both things be true? Yes, she was abused, and yes, she used it to manipulate the situation in her favor. So yeah, that's the question of the day. So yeah, y'all, that's my overall thoughts on 13. It's a really wild watch. I think that girls who are in their early teens or teens in general should watch this movie as a cautionary tale, really, to tell them this is not what you want, so don't do it. So yeah, with that being said, you girlies, we are at the end of the video. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Please do not forget to look in the description box for the link to the movie request form so that you can request whatever movies you want me to watch. I think the next movie is going to be Mean Girls because somebody suggested that. The more movies you give me, the more videos you get. Really, I have some movies that I kind of wanted to do, like, just myself that I'm interested in covering, but for the most part I will try to get out the movies that you guys suggest first, as opposed to me just doing whatever I want to do. Essentially, this channel is for you guys. I enjoy making the videos, but also I want to make content that you guys will watch. So yes, don't forget to leave your suggestions, and with that being said, I'll see you girlies in the next one. Bye.
You ain't used to girls that can make it high fashion. Fucking with a 10.